In my old job, I used to have to fly pretty frequently, and often long flights coast to coast. And every time I'd be in my seat earlier than the rest of the passengers, I'd go through the same routine. Sweet, an empty seat next to me, all the elbow room in the world. Let's hope this lasts. No, still far away at least. No, please sit down. Please, anywhere else. God, please. Can you scoot over, please? No!
Folks, this is your captain speaking. We are currently behind a long line of departures, and we are facing a significant tarmac delay, so get comfy, folks.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Every single time. And I freely admit that on more than one occasion, I would ease my pain by texting a friend or a family member with a joke about my anguish. Now, does that make me a scumbag, or does that make me the same as everybody else? Somebody who jokes with his friends and is entitled to that privacy regardless of how crude it may be. This is exactly the question that today's story addresses. In this case, the person doing the T-Rex stomping is Natalie Hagg. And yeah, I'd feel bad about making fat jokes at her expense, but for the fact that fat lady is the first bullet point in her self-described public bio. She's Insta-famous for being a plus-size model, which is why she says she was on a flight from Dallas to LA to do some sort of modeling work. When she sat down, she observed the guy next to her showing some signs of frustration, sighing, groaning, perhaps in much the same way I described earlier. I suspect his experience was similar because he started up a back and forth text conversation. That's when Natalie took a secret photo of his phone and observed he was making jokes about her to a friend. And she spent the whole flight thinking about how to confront this guy for his crimes of private thought and private conversation, finally speaking with him upon landing.
I couldn't help but notice that before we took off, you were sending really horrible text messages about me to somebody.
I wasn't.
I have photos, yes you were.
I couldn't help but notice those photos would be evidence of you invading and documenting a private conversation that is none of your business. And don't say you couldn't help but notice, because you could help but notice. You could have kept your eyes on your property and your conversations as you should. This guy did not intrude upon you. You intruded upon him.
You know, in fairness, you probably shouldn't be sitting in the edge of those seats. You know, when they ask you, are you willing and capable to assist people in getting off the airplane in an emergency, do you honestly think that you are?
That's funny because I work out about 5 times a week.
Picture it didn't happen. Okay, fair enough, but here's the real challenge. Show me a trainer or gym who would advertise these results to the customer, or alternatively, show me a doctor's evaluation that says you are of healthy weight. I'll follow and wait for you to post that. Just kidding, fuck that noise.
I'm here for a shoot. I'm a model and I have a very, very large social media following.
Ah, well, just how big are you on social media? Because you look gigantic in celebrity status. I mean, that's a huge bit. Instagram following. Over 100,000. Well done.
Don't ever treat somebody like that again.
Don't ever treat people how? By staying quiet and messaging with friends? How about you don't intrude upon other people's private conversations? How about you don't take weird creeper photos of strangers' phones while they're texting? How are you a victim when you invaded a space to which you have no right? It's clear to me who's right and who's wrong in this case. Maybe you think fat jokes are mean and we shouldn't make them, and that's fine. You can live your life that way. But in my mind, fat jokes are hilarious. And if my friend thinks so too, and we choose to share a joke with each other with words, not even photographs, mind you, just words privately, that is nobody's business but ours. Only in current year outrage culture could someone invading the privacy of another person be twisted into victimhood. But that's exactly what happened on Monday morning's broadcast of Good Morning America, which propped up Natalie as some type of courageous hero.
A fellow passenger was not too happy about sitting next to her and made that abundantly clear. So she shared the entire experience with her social media following.
He didn't make it abundantly clear, though. In fact, he did the opposite of that. He kept his frustration private. He made it intentionally discreet. It took intrusion to reveal this information. If his frustration was abundantly clear, why is a secret photo of his phone the primary evidence?
I noticed immediately that the man to my left at the window was huffing and sighing incredibly loud.
That's when Natalie pulled out her phone, capturing the man texting jokes about her weight.
The person he talked to said, hopefully she hasn't had any Mexican food. And then he says, well, it looks like she's eaten a whole Mexican.
Don't act like you didn't laugh. You know that was funny. You're a liar. The only way that could have been funnier is if she actually denied having eaten a whole Mexican.
3 hours later on the runway at LAX, she worked up the courage to confront the man, recording the whole thing.
Worked up the courage? This isn't an act of courage. This is a pathetic act of entitlement and intrusion. This is an act of spying. And look, it's good spy work. I'd say you'd make a great spy, but your presence is just far too obvious. You'll never be able to hide effectively with that great big personality of yours.
The plus-size model posting on her Instagram page, this is a fat person's daily reality, and not just on a plane, in hopes others with similar experiences know they are not alone.
This isn't a fat problem. People gossip about each other for any number of reasons. Everyone does it, and they do it privately. And it may be mean, but it's none of your business, unless you're a party to the conversation.
People see you as less of a person because you are more of a person. You're worth being treated like a human being.
No, people see you as less of a person because you're more of a thought policeman. By all means, be more of a person if you want to, but I reserve the right to think it's probably too much of a person. And you don't get to raid my mind or my phone for wrongthink.
Now, Natalie says after the apology, the man offered to buy her dinner to make up for the experience, but she declined.
She turned down free food, you say? Well, that is obviously very fake news.
She handled it with such dignity and such grace. I was really impressed with her composure.
She was very calm. She said she had the whole flight to try to think about what she was going to say when they landed.
He went low. She went high.
Ah, yes. He went low. She went high. He went small. She went big. He went healthy weight. She went morbidly obese. Okay, that's it. I swear. I've indulged enough. Just kidding. There's still room. Can I see a dessert menu, please?
Yes, sir. Right away.
Great. Thanks. I'll treat this seriously for a second. I have two major problems with this whole story. First, it is crucial that we respect each other's privacy. I am not entitled to raid your private life, nor you mine. And you're certainly not entitled to claim victimhood from words that were never intended for your eyes or ears. Now, perhaps there should be exceptions to that rule in cases of deceiving or defrauding someone, say a financial scam or marital infidelity or plotting to harm someone, sure. These are cases where there's a tangible harm outside of the speech itself. But in general, I get the privacy of shit-talking and banter with my friends, and you get yours. Which leads me to my second problem, the massive hypocrisy. Natalie and everyone supporting her put up this extravagant light show of virtue signaling, acting like they don't do the exact same thing. And if you say that you don't, Natalie, or anybody else, if you're such an obviously better person than this guy, why don't you release all of your private messages publicly? All your texts, all your DMs, all your emails. Let us vet your messages and judge your character on them. But you're not going to do that because you know yours are just as mean and not even half as funny. The difference is the rest of us know that you are entitled to the privacy of your messages, whether they're mean, dumb, crude, or in your case, 100% saintly and dignified all of the time. Your business is your business. If you send a text to your friend about how shitty this video is, that is not harassment of me. And you're not a bad person for doing it, and you shouldn't be shamed publicly for doing it. If you insist, none of us can tell you how to run your body.
My body is also none of your business, so you have no idea what I can or can't do with it.
That's fine. I agree. Do what you want. And by extension, don't tell us how to run our minds, or our phones, or our conversations with our friends. Thanks as always for listening and for supporting this channel. Always appreciate that thoughtful discussion down below, and especially over on Twitter. That is at ML Christiansen. You're always welcome to come hang out and chat in my live streams. Those are linked down in the description. Looking forward to it. Okay, bye.